Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the SmackDown Ring Report. What a SmackDown we have for you. As you can see right here, tensions boil between Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. Yeah, these two former WWE champions collide in a Money in the Bank qualified match. Which one of these two would restore glory to go back for the championship hunt? But they had to go through each other. They wanted to get to it. We'll see coming up, as well as Lacey Evans, the returning Lacey Evans, who had her heartwarming story, will go against Zilli in the women's Money in the Bank qualifying match. Which one of these two women will advance for women's Money in the Bank qualifying match? And talk about championship stakes right here. Talk about it right here. Riddle takes on Sami Zayn. If Sami wins, Riddle is banned from SmackDown. I doubt Riddle was on Raw, but hey, it is what it is. But if Riddle wins, he faces Roman Reigns for a shot at the Undisputed Championship next week on SmackDown. A lot of high stakes coming up as the Pro Wrestling Show starts right now. Hello, everyone. This is Kendrick Diggs here for your SmackDown Ring Report. You just got done watching Viral. As Britney Spears had got married. Congratulations to Britney Spears. To be honest with you, Britney Spears has a weird, wacky connection to WWE. As you know, her second husband at the time, Kevin Federline, was in the feud with John Cena. John Cena, we'll talk about later on in Hot Topics of what's going on with John Cena in a moment. But first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling Show here on Connect TV on YouTube, screaming live. And we screaming live indeed for you. And we thank you all, audiences, to watching us on the Pro Wrestling Show. You viewers like you, we thank you. First thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. This is the Pro Wrestling Show presents the SmackDown Ring Report, highlights, recaps, and everything that went on tonight's episode of SmackDown. All right, SmackDown will kick off with none other than these two former world champions, Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre. Yes, we knew they was gonna go one-on-one after confrontation been built for weeks after Drew returned, helping aid the New Day with Sheamus' group, the Brawling Brutes. Well, Sheamus want to get his hands on Drew, but this time stakes are involved as Drew versus Sheamus in a qualifying match for Money in the Bank. We'll talk about Money in the Bank. As you see, the married couple of Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are the poster childs for the new Money in the Bank. We'll talk about that coming up. Well, we kick it off as Drew was about to make his entrance, and Sheamus wanted a piece of Drew, but the little mascot they got, Butch, wanted a piece of Drew. Drew and Sheamus fought like tooth and nail, but at the end it was a no draw, no contest. So this rivalry is far from over between these two men. Drew and Sheamus want to take it to the screen. They're gonna take it to the screen. We just have to see when the time and the place. Both men try to use chairs at each other. It just didn't end up well, but we know that Sheamus and Drew will probably have a match down the road. We just don't know when. I guess, but neither of them qualify for the Money in the Bank briefcase. I know Sheamus is a pathway to Drew for Drew to get to the Undisputed World Championship whenever that may be. When Drew said that he wants to cash in his World Championship at Roman Reigns at Clash at the Castle. So we'll see that coming up in Labor Day weekend if Drew can get the job done. Also, too, we talked about it. I talked about it last week that this was a golden opportunity for Gunther His name was Walter way back in the Indies. Well, Gunther got himself a championship match against Ricochet. It was like a David versus Goliath match, and you can tell Ricochet was no match for Gunther. Gunther's been impressive for weeks and months using that power bomb. It wasn't no exception as we saw that Gunther wins the Intercontinental Championship, delivering Ricochet with that power bomb. Gunther is your new Intercontinental Champion, and Gunther now holds the gold that many of his predecessors, such as Randy Savage, the Macho Man, the Ultimate Warrior, Bret the Hitman Hart, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, the list goes on and on. Edge, Booker T, William Regal, for if you want to know for history fact, William Regal held the Intercontinental title. Gunther now is one of the men, the list of champions that has been crowned Intercontinental Champion. And a good impressive showing for Gunther as he starts his newly found reign as Intercontinental Champion. Ricochet pulled a lot of fight, but it just wasn't the case for the Ricochet tonight. Ricochet was a transitional champion, unfortunately. Speaking of that, Lacey Evans, the returning Lacey Evans, took on Xia Li. Lacey Evans returning with her heartfelt story of her being abused, and her father being drugs and all this stuff. Lacey Evans trying to be patriotic. She finally had her return match after giving birth to a second kid. Lacey Evans coming back swinging over Xia Li, and Lacey Evans defeated Xia Li to earn herself a spot in the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. So Lacey Evans getting herself into championship hunt contention by defeating Xia Li. We'll see that coming forward. Speaking of championships, we see right here Ronda Rousey, the SmackDown Women's Champion, finally knows her challenger. Her challenger is Natalya. Her and Natalya will battle for the SmackDown Women's Championship at Money in the Bank in Las Vegas. Well, we know that Natalya won by picking up the win over Chauncey to get the win on that six-pack challenge. Well, we know that's going to be a possibility. Ronda Rousey didn't waste no time as the SmackDown Women's Champion, wanted some competition. She got competition from a person that wants to fight her, and it turned out to be Chauncey. Chauncey went against Ronda one-on-one in an impromptu match. Ronda using the armbar that made her famous, and Ronda Rousey wins her match over Chauncey. Well, we get that, and we know that Ronda got attacked from behind by Natalya, who wants her championship in place and put the sharpshooter, and put that sharpshooter and patent it. Now we know that at Money in the Bank, because Natalya used that sharpshooter in her advantage to take out Ronda Rousey and win the SmackDown Women's title. Only time will tell on that. We just have to wait and see. But that should be a fascinating match to see at Money in the Bank as well. All right, we saw that. Speaking of coming up on SmackDown next week, we can tell you next week, last laugh match. I don't even get what this match is. It's kind of confusing. It's a last man standing match. Whoever makes the opponent laugh wins. It's just too gimmicky to me, but just say a last man standing match and leave it like that. Plus, Max Dupree was supposed to make his debut tonight. Well, he presents his brand new Maximum Male models, whoever they might be. We'll see. We kind of got a clue who they could be, but they ain't gonna tell you. But we kind of know. Look for what's his name, Mace or T-Bar, whatever, to join his stable of male models coming forward. So look for that. Also, too, the main event, and what a main event it was. Riddle gets his shot, gets his opportunity of a lifetime. Riddle went against Sami Zayn in a match, and Riddle, the stipulation was this: if Sami Zayn wins, Riddle is banned from SmackDown. But if Riddle wins, he faces Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Championship. Well, Time will tell the question of the motion. Riddle won his match, and Riddle gets a shot at Roman Reigns next week on SmackDown for the shot at the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Riddle used the patented RKO of his mentor Randy Orton, his tag team partner, and Riddle gets the shot as being the one. But Riddle didn't leave SmackDown lasting long. He attacked the Usos, the undisputed tag team champions, and left them hurting. So Riddle getting his shot of glory, and Riddle making a statement that he wants the universal goal, and he has to take it away from Roman Reigns in order to do so. We'll see next week when Roman Reigns returns to SmackDown. This should have been an added match for Money in the Bank. I mean, that's championship match. I don't get that. I really don't get it. I guess they trying to get ratings for that buy rate. And I get that, but that should have been for a pay-per-view match, not for no because the championship ain't been defended since WrestleMania. It's been 2 months. I mean, you give him a championship match on TV. You don't think really that worthy to be on Peacock? And just to me, it just don't make no sense. I mean, keep some of them championship matches rare and special. I get they trying to do that. They want to make it rare that you don't get a championship match on television. But Peacock, what about Peacock? Oh, we're gonna just sell the ladder matches. Them they're gonna be them gonna be the highlight. Them gonna be the feature matches. We get that, but come on now with that. Why the ladder matches are for the championship? Come on, it's crazy, but it is what it is. All right, that ends the SmackDown Ring report. We want to lead you to wrestling hot topics on wrestling hot topics. Speaking of Riddle, we know that Riddle will be challenging for Roman Reigns, who should be returning shortly after since not showing up, since helping his cousins, been almost a month, if you ask me. And Roman doing the less key dates and stuff, so it's all that the possibility. But Roman Reigns should be back next week on SmackDown. Speaking of that, John Cena did something for Ukraine. He traveled to Ukraine on his busy schedule. He saw a Ukraine boy who fled the country along with his mother, and it was heartwarming. It's on the WWE YouTube channel. You can see highlights of that, and kudos to John Cena. He's a friend to our Twitter page. He really likes our Twitter page, so we thank John Cena for that. Also, too, we just heard that Michael Cole and stated that Cody Rhodes will be out. Cody Rhodes will be out for indefinitely for 9 months after the vicious attack from Seth Rollins. Rhodes had successful surgery on Thursday to perform to reattach his pectoral tendon. Rhodes will face a long recovery, will be unable to compete for 9 months. So it was a 9 month timetable. So it's June right now, and then probably around WrestleMania time he'll probably return. If I was a betting man, Cody might return at the Royal Rumble and win the Royal Rumble if Seth's still the champion or what. Have Seth Rollins and him fight. I can just see that going. But Cody Rhodes get well. We'll see. He even impressed Dave Mesler, who gave him a 5-star match. In a 5-star match, Dave Mesler gave Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins that Hell in a Cell match a 5-star. So it was a real good 5-star match. So it's rare because WWE don't really get 5-star matches, but Cody, since rejoining the company, got a 5-star match. Cody Rhodes being tapped by Seth Rollins, had successful surgery Thursday to form a retach his pectoral tendon, and we wish Cody well. We wish him on that for real. We thank Cody Rhodes for that, and he will be back. Knowing Cody, he'll be back bigger, stronger than ever before. That's just Cody Rhodes, the heart and the spirit of Cody. Cody Rhodes showed that at Hell in a Cell, and what tremendous spirit from Cody, what he did. One day by Cody Rhodes. And we'll see you down the road. Speaking of that, Paige released this saying that she's gonna be leaving WWE after her contract expires. Paige saying she's done with WWE. She wants to thank WWE. But who can remember when Paige it was about 2 years ago, Paige snapped online. And Paige WWE wanted to have all their superstars to their new Twitch channel. And some of the WWE superstars went feeling WWE, and Paige let the WWE have it, saying, "Oh, I'm talking with a British voice. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this more than they've been wanting to get joined. I've been doing it. They're not finna mess my income because of my broken neck." And Paige ran it and raved it, and she got her way that day. Paige was entertaining that day, and she let me know that she wasn't gonna let WWE take her source of income since she couldn't wrestle. So I'm assuming Paige is going to wrestle once again. Just won't be under WWE. I guess she's going to be doing the Daniel Bryan treatment. Like, hey, you're going to have to. I got to prove my worth somewhere else, and then you're gonna want me back. That's like what you did with your ex girlfriend, something, or the your ex, and you kind of saying, okay, you didn't see my worth. I'm finna go somewhere else, and then you're gonna want them back. How they mistreated and misguided. But Paige will be back, hopefully. And we wish her well, whatever she does and stuff. Speaking of that, WWE Executive Director Bruce Pritchard revealed on his podcast on Something to Wrestle. Bruce Pritchard said that he's dealing with a torn rotator cuff himself, and he's gonna get rehab on it and get surgery. So Bruce Pritchard, Bruce Pritchard, the same found way with Roman, with Cody, I guess. Speaking of Cody's nemesis, Seth Rollins shed light on being called Seth Franklin Rollins, and Cody didn't. Seth Rollins shed light on it, thinking that it was funny to him. So Seth Franklin Rollins. Okay. Speaking of Seth Rollins, him and his wife Becky Lynch are the cover poster children of the Money in the Bank thing. We'll see how that go with that, but him and his wife, former champion Becky Lynch, how they're gonna play part. I can see Becky Lynch in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and her and Oscar playing all these antics just to get the briefcase. Don't be shocked if Oscar wins that briefcase again, because it's gonna be funny once again. Oscar winning and Becky was close on winning. I'm telling you right now. I'm put me on that right now on record. It's gonna be Becky and Oscar gonna end that briefcase, that Money in the Bank ladder match, because they champions. But it's gonna be somewhere spot in that match that Becky will be close on winning it, but Oscar wins it one way, one house. So look for that. Speaking of coming up next week on the Pro Wrestling Show, we'll have the Monday Night Raw Ring Report, the fallout from last week when Edge got kicked out his own faction, the Judgment Day. We hopefully Finn Balor will answer questions on why he did what he did. Instead of, to me, they should have just let it play out. But anyway, it is what it is. But we'll find out next week. So we're gonna leave you with Matt Riddle winning the No One Contendership, getting him a shot at the Universal Championship next week on SmackDown against Roman Reigns. Matt Riddle says he's going to be the one to dethrone Roman. We'll have to wait and see next week on SmackDown. So, for me being Kendra Dick saying, you all have a good weekend. We'll see you next week on the Monday Night Raw Ring Report. So, for the Pro Wrestling Show presents the SmackDown Ring Report, y'all all stay safe and have a smart weekend. Peace.